Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of The Art of Gift Giving. In the last few episodes, I've talked about the various kinds of gifts you can get for people in different situations. However, gift giving can be really expensive, especially in this economy, and sometimes we have a lot of people to get gifts for. So, in this episode, I'll be talking about ways to save money while still getting thoughtful gifts for people. Let's get into it. The first thing I want to talk about is budgeting. If you haven't already created a budget for yourself and have a system for carefully tracking your spending, I'd highly recommend you do that. I am not a financial expert, so I will not be going into how best to do that, but there are several resources out there on financial planning, and I would highly recommend checking those out. My point in bringing up budgeting is that it'll give you an idea of where your money is coming from and going to. This can help you cut out unnecessary expenses, which gives you more money for yourself and others. One of the things I would recommend doing, especially if you have a lot of people in your life that you give gifts to on birthdays and holidays, is setting aside a specific amount of money that you allocate towards gifts. Having a set fund for buying gifts can prevent you from overspending and also make sure that you're thoughtful with how and when you buy things for others. Now, of course, not everybody will have the luxury of setting aside lots of money for gifting, and that's okay. There are plenty of other ways you can get thoughtful gifts without spending loads of money. Some of these are ideas I've mentioned in previous episodes. Giving gift cards allows you to set aside a specific amount of money for somebody, and if you get gift cards in bulk, like from Costco or Sam's Club, this is not sponsored by the way, you can save money in the process. You can also write checks for a certain amount of money so you can keep track of how much you're spending on others. Creating coupons or little IOUs for gifts, like I mentioned in the previous episode, can also be a great cost-free way to give gifts to people. Something else to consider when gifting is how quote-unquote big the gift is and how quote-unquote big the occasion is. This, of course, is all subjective and is something you will have to gauge for yourself and the person you're gifting for. As an example, say that you're going to a wedding this year, but you still also have to get a birthday gift for one of the people getting married. The wedding is arguably the bigger occasion as it doesn't happen nearly as often as a birthday does. Since you're going to be spending more on gifts this year, you can give a smaller gift for the person's birthday and spend more on a bigger gift for the wedding. It's all relative, and it's up to you to decide how quote-unquote big or small a gift is, usually in terms of how much the gift costs. Thinking in terms of the scale of the occasion can also help you. If you like to set aside a certain amount of money to spend on a person as part of your budget, you can allocate bigger and smaller amounts of money relative to the size of the occasion and the gift you want to give. Another way to save money when gifting is to shop smarter. My favorite way to do this is keep an eye out for coupons and sales, which I'm sure you probably do already anyway, and to shop secondhand. I love thrifting, which if you've watched my other videos you probably already know this, and so sometimes I like to thrift for others. All you need to know is about what size they wear and what style of clothing they like. A lot of times, if you know where to look, you can find clothes for way cheaper in thrift stores without sacrificing on quality and style. In fact, a lot of the pieces I've thrifted are of way higher quality and have a more unique style than what you'd find in a regular clothing store. And it costs less than half the typical selling price a lot of times. One of my best finds at a thrift store was a trench coat. I'd been wanting one for ages, by the way. And not only was it in excellent condition, it was a luxury brand, and it cost only 10% of the original price. I wear it whenever the weather allows, and it's one of my favorite pieces I've ever thrifted. Thrifting isn't just for clothes, though. A lot of thrift stores also have other secondhand goods scattered throughout. As an example, one of my friends really wanted a picnic basket for her birthday, but she was having trouble finding one that she really liked and that was still in good condition. It took some searching, but I was ultimately able to find her one at a thrift store for a much lower price than if I had bought the same basket brand new. Thrift stores are honestly a gold mine as long as you know where to look, and I'd highly recommend it when you're looking for gifts for people. Finally, my other favorite way to save money when gifting is to make stuff. I've picked up a bunch of odd hobbies along the way, and I've managed to use them to make stuff for my friends. As an example, there was one year where I was really on a crocheting kick, and I crocheted scarves for all of my friends in each of their favorite colors. I've also loom knitted hats, and back when the rainbow loom was popular, I made bracelets and creatures of all kinds with it for my friends. I also really enjoy drawing and painting, so I've drawn and painted stuff for friends as gifts. Another of my hobbies is writing, so I've written personalized poems for my friends, and those were also a hit. Using my narration, recording, and editing skills, I've also made audiobooks for friends, and whatever your hobbies are, I'm sure there's a way for you to leverage them in order to make great gifts for your friends. All it takes is determination and a little creativity. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of The Art of Gift Giving. I hope you learned something, and I'd love to hear your ideas in the comments below. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure your notifications are on so you never miss an upload. Thank you again for listening in, and I'll talk to you all in the next episode. Cheers!